Good morning and welcome. It's 8 o'clock. It is the 24th day of April 2021. I am your grumpy guide to all things gaming, the OGGM. I put the H in heel in the old and old school. So once again, I feel I have to address my anger at Wizards of the Coast, my anger at 5th edition, and my anger at the toxic gaming space that the world of our hobby has become in the last few years. So let's address the issue by bringing up an actual real life example that happened to a friend of mine recently. So this guy did everything that he was supposed to within the limits of common sense. He had a session 0. He asked the players what they wanted and didn't want in the game. He worked with them. He said, "Okay, I'm running this is what the game's going to be. These are some examples. Obviously we're not going to have rape, and we're not going to have baby eating. We're not going to have, body horrors or anything else. Is there anything your guys are uncomfortable with?" So and I was there, so I know this happened. He set the stage. He made sure that if he threw a spider in his game and somebody was afraid of spiders, it's like, no, here's your chance to tell me. So he's running. He's had his session 0. Everybody's done the thing. They've told him what they want. He's what they don't want, things they like to fight, things they don't want to fight, what kind of adventure they want to run. He's run 2-3 sessions, and he's running them through Temple of the Snake Cult. So there's gonna be snake people and snakes. And it's not like it's a secret, because literally they are told they're going through Temple of the Snake Cult. So there is a encounter with a giant snake, and he tells them, okay, you blah blah blah, giant snake. He doesn't have a snake miniature like a big rubber snake. He doesn't bring a real snake to the game. He simply says giant snake, and to represent where the giant snake was on the board, because he didn't have a giant snake, he used a Snickers, because that was all he had. That was the size for the giant snake. So other than saying the word giant snake, in the snake cult, there was no snake involved. At which point, one of the players gets upset. "I'm afraid of snakes. I don't want to fight a giant snake. You are attacking me and my fear of snakes by having us fight a giant snake." Once again, there's no actual snake in the room. There's not even a fake rubber snake. In order to represent the snake on the map, the only thing he had that was the size of what the snake was, took up 2-3 hexes, was a Snickers bar. Other than the word snake, there was no actual snake involved in this make-believe scenario in a place called the Temple of the Snake Cult. So at any point in time, from session 0 to the point where they were said they're going to the Temple of the Snake Cult, the person could have said, "I'm afraid of snakes." They chose not to. They chose to wait to the actual fight with the snake to say, "I'm afraid of snakes." Now, were they really afraid of snakes? Or were they just playing on this new mentality to change the outcome of events because they thought their character might get hurt, or they failed a saving throw? If you were really afraid of snakes, then when you were told you were going into the snake cult temple, you probably should have said something. If you're really afraid of snakes, when the DM asked you at session 0, you should have said, "I'm afraid of snakes." But no, this person waited to the actual fight to say the game had to come to a halt. Everybody had to deal with yelling. A day later, this person is attacking my friend on Twitter, saying they're an insensitive who did not take into account their fear of snakes and forced them to confront a fear. And 2 days later, he's getting banned and receiving death threats simply because this individual chose to wait to the last minute to tell my friend he's afraid of snakes. So I'm not angry at Wizards of the Coast. Wizards of the Coast, as I said previously, on paper, every choice they've made makes sense to them. Just like with 4th edition, even though we have said time and time again, Wizards of the Coast did everything they possibly could wrong with 4th edition, on paper, the ideas, the intent made sense. The intent of what Wizards of the Coast and the rest of the gaming community is trying to do in regards to things like racism and addressing fears and, consent at the table makes sense. So I'm not mad at Wizards of the Coast. I don't like their current politics, but that's okay, because I still live in a country where you're allowed to say things like that. I'm not mad at 5th edition. No one should be mad at 5th edition, because 5th edition is just a rule set. 5th edition hasn't done anything. I have some issues with Critical Role, but I'm not really mad at them. They didn't do anything original. They knew exactly what they were doing. They still know exactly what they're doing to monopolize their time to get the most positive, financially successful response to their controlled substance. Critical Role is the WWE of role-playing. Planned, staged, worked out to achieve maximum effect, to get maximum popularity and maximum money. I'm sure every one of us would have done the exact same thing if we could have. So maybe we're a little jealous, but I can't be mad at them. I can be upset with some of the choices they make. I can disagree with their politics. I can say things like, I don't see myself represented on Critical Role, but it's not, or it's not really for me, or, that's not how I'm going to run my game because I can't. I'm not Matt Mercer, but I can't really be angry at them. So no. What I'm angry at is people who say things like, you're running the game wrong. What I'm angry at is that my friend is receiving death threats when there's absolutely no reason he should. And let's go through it again. Is there anything you don't want in the game? Session 0. You're going into the Temple of the Snake Cult. Look, I'm using this Snickers bar to represent a giant snake because I don't actually have a snake. Everything he could have done, he did. And yet now he's receiving death threats. That's what I'm angry about. I'm angry at people saying things like, well, you old players just feel like, you're being pushed away, and that's why you're so upset at us as new players, because we're doing it better and we're doing it different. We don't fucking care. As an OSR Groganard player, I don't care how you play your game at your table. Don't fucking care. You're going to play my game at my table, you're going to play it my way, and we're going to have an agreement at session 0 what that way is. And if you don't like the way after we've agreed about it, oh well, you can walk away. But once that contract is set at the end of session 0, that's how I'm running the game. I might open up, question and answers and say, hey, blah, 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 what worked, what didn't work every now and then, because I also believe in a session 5 and a session 10. But yeah, no, I'm not angry if you play your game differently. I'm not angry that the game has changed. I'm not angry that I'm no longer the target audience. I don't fucking care. I buy the product I enjoy and I ignore the product I don't enjoy. I'm not going to punish somebody for playing a game differently than me. What I'm angry about is being labeled a racist because I own a copy of Oriental Adventures. What I'm angry about is being told I'm a Nazi sympathizer because I played Axis and Allies and played the Germans. I'm a Jew, okay? Just because I played the Germans and Axis and Allies doesn't mean I'm a Nazi sympathizer. No, it means I wanted to win the game through a naval superiority, and the Germans is one of the best ways to win the game through naval superiority because they have so much coastline at the beginning of the game. It has nothing to do with who I chose. It was all about tactics for playing Axis and Allies, which is a game. I'm angry being told that, oh, you don't understand the game. You're not welcome at the game. You feel you're being pushed out of the game. The game has changed. No, I'm not. Of course the game has changed. Everything changes. Evolution happens. I'm not angry about that. I'm angry about being called a toxic gatekeeper. I'm angry about players leaving my game because I'm not Matt Mercer. I'm angry about being attacked and harassed and threatened because I don't play this game the same way you do. Who the fuck cares how I play the game? You don't like the way I run my game? Don't come to my game. You don't like the way I play? Tell me and I'll leave your table. No harm done. But when you post things like this, when you attack people, when you say I'm a racist or a sexist or a homophobe, when you call Mike Poundsmith racist and transphobic when he's a black man who created the cyberpunk role-playing game, if there's any game that's not transphobic, it's cyberpunk. Literally, the whole point of cyberpunk is be whoever you fucking want. You want to be a half zebra in cyberpunk? Sure, it's going to cost you 500 credits, but I can make you a half zebra in cyberpunk because nobody cares. It's a fucking game. It's no different than Chutes and Ladders. It's no different than Monopoly. It's no different than Madden. It's a game. And I play the game the way I enjoy it. And you should play the game the way you enjoy it. And if the way you enjoy the game is different than the way I enjoy the game, fine. We can agree to disagree. Nobody fucking cares. If I say I'm not going to allow Tasha's in my 5th edition game, if I ever ran 5th edition, that should be okay. It can be compromised. We can work together. But at the end of the day, it should be okay. There should be no reason for angry posts. There should be no reason for me being called these things. There should be no reason ever for me being physically assaulted because the first time I was asked about Critical Role, I said I didn't know what it was. There's no reason that my friend Johnny was beat up at a game because we weren't playing the same game that the people who were playing the game were playing. We all know this story. We're playing one edition of the game. A group of other people is playing a different edition of the game. My friend Johnny says something completely innocent and is a fucking 11-year-old kid, and a 33-year-old man gets up, wands over, and kicks my friend in the face, who's sitting down, out of the chair, simply because he asked them about the game they were playing. So that's what I'm angry about. And if you're upset that I'm angry about being called names and harassed and threatened, if you're upset because I'm an older player than you and I have a more experience than you and I have a different opinion than you about the game, if you're upset about my gaming politics or my gaming beliefs, one, I don't fucking care because this is America and you're allowed to be upset whatever you want about as long as you don't attack people. And two, you can just get the fuck off my lawn. You can unsubscribe. You can go play your game. I'll play my game. I don't care. Just don't attack people. Don't tell me I'm playing the game wrong. Don't call me names. Don't threaten me. Don't assault me. And fucking address my friend and say, dude, I'm sorry I threatened your life because you did nothing wrong in that snake scenario. So that's what I'm angry about. I'm not angry at 5th edition. 5th edition is words on a piece of paper. Nothing. Not angry at Wizards of the Coast. I don't like their current politics, but I'm not angry at them. They're a business. They're doing the best they can to make money in this fucked up world. I'm not even really angry at Critical Role. I'm angry at the Critical Role fan base. I'm angry at the post-Tasha's fan base. I'm angry at the Manic Pixie Dream Girl fan base telling me I'm playing the game wrong, telling me you can't do that in a game that's specifically designed to do that because you're hurting my character's ableism. I'm angry at being told, oh, you can't tell me I can't have this character class in your game, even though it's not an official character class. No, that's what I'm angry about. If you don't like the fact that I'm angry about it, you can suck my dick and get off my lawn.